Weekly Ray Longo Minute, of course, is the great Ray Longo, and sort of a somber tone to the show today, Ray, in a lot of respects. I saw the picture that you posted of Robert Follis and Chris Lieben and Matt Serra. Just a profound loss here for all of us in this very close MMA community, and a stunner that the man Robert Follis is no longer with us, man.
Yeah, I tell you, it stinks. And, Rob was a really nice guy. And even when I posted the picture, I really did want to send that to him. And I kind of put it up to almost symbolize, hey, if you got something to say to somebody or you want to tell somebody how much you love them, like, do it now. Because who would have ever thought this was going to happen? And, I don't think he probably would never remember that picture in a million years. It had to be. I think it was when Matt fought Carol Parisian. We were in Atlantic City, and I'm going to say probably the first time I met him. And, he brought a couple of guys to the Ring of Combat show at times, and he was always a gentleman, and it was always good catching up with the guy. And, well, yeah, crazy, man. I don't know. It's funny how, people sometimes present themselves in a nice way, but you never know what's going on, inside of a lot of people. And, I kind of said that last week, like with Anjos loss, and people, are you okay? And yeah, I'm definitely okay. And, I feel bad for the people that win and they're not happy, or,
right.
Or they're doing good and they're not happy. That's gotta suck, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if there's a reason to be unhappy, at least there's a reason. But when things are going good and you're not feeling it inside, that's got to be really tough to deal with, man. And, whatever, man. He was a, good dude. Like, again, I always like catching up with him. And, yeah, what a tragedy, man. Nothing else I could say. Really, just
Yeah.
It sucks.
But, when people say, go hug your friends, right, or go tell someone you love them, how often do people actually turn that into action? So hopefully your point doesn't fall on deaf ears. And Ray, I was joking with Kenny earlier, right? Like, I finished emceeing a Q&A in Winnipeg this weekend. I had a few minutes before the weigh-in. So I was saying, do I go up to the desk and say hello to Kenny, or do I go smoke weed in a parking lot, right? And what do? I go up to the desk and I said hi to Kenny, because that's my guy. I never get to see him. And, I'm not trying to, pat myself on the back, but you should do stuff like that.
Let me tell you should feel honored. If this guy said hello to you,
Of course.
Weed,
He lights
Yeah.
up my life, this guy. I love it.
That's
Every
big.
time I see him. Yeah.
I got to tell you, that's like Sarah thinking about a meatball parm.
There you go.
And he comes and says hello to me. I'd be honored.
I'm the meatball parm to John's life. I'll take that.
Exactly.
I'll take
You
that.
know what I mean? Oh, my God. That's one of the nicest compliments I ever heard.
And yeah, exactly. And especially knowing that how much Matt Serra likes Italian food,
That's great.
So, Ray, I know you don't watch the NFL on Fox, but did you see the UFC on Fox over the weekend?
Of course I did.
What do you think about Rafael dos Anjos and the main event win over Robbie Lawler? Dos Anjos, man, pretty impressive what he's doing in this new division.
Yeah, it looks like he's very comfortable. I thought, I don't know, where Robbie's at in his career. That was the thing with me. I kind of think, again, 3 or 4 years ago, Robbie's walking right through that guy. But I don't know. Hats off to Dos Anjos. I thought he did a great job. He looked very relaxed. He was definitely took whatever Robbie had to, give him, and he came right back, and it was a great win for him. I think those kicks had an effect on his leg. They slowed him down, but really, really huge win for Dos Anjos. Unbelievable.
Ray, I want to talk about, the fight between Ricardo Lamas and Josh Emmett. It was interesting circumstances because Emmett didn't make the weight. He was 2 pounds over the weight limit. They end up fighting. Ricardo says yes to the fight. Josh Emmett goes out there and delivers one of the most brutal knockouts I've seen. Anything below 170 pounds, maybe whatever, despite of the weight class. It was just nasty.
Yeah.
How do you view that as a coach? And how do you view that, on both sides of the coin there? If you're in Josh Emmett's corner, or if you're in Ricardo Lamas's corner, how do you deal with something like that? Because Emmett had a beautiful performance, but he didn't make the weight.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I know in the past I've let my guys fight. That's on some of the smaller shows, so it's not the same. But when another guy doesn't make weight or he's a pound over, or I was never really a stickler for that.
Yeah.
I want to believe that didn't have anything to do with it. It was unprofessional.
Right.
But the guy did take the fight in the how long did he have for this fight?
3 weeks to a month. Was it a month?
Well, I
3
mean,
to 4 weeks.
a month is enough time to make the weight. So it's
Yep.
not, if he misses again, I would really be harsh on him. But like again, I go back to when Chris fought Damian Maia. I mean, it was like 30 pounds in a week. I was begging him to just take the penalty. I mean, I just didn't think it was worth it to kill your body, and you don't want, and you want Damian Maia to have a fight. So it was good that a lot of guys want to stay busy. So I'm sure Lamas wasn't a problem for him. I don't think Lamas is gonna blame the weight thing or whatever, but we are hitting a point where these decisions are becoming critical.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And if a guy can't abide by the rules, maybe you should just pass. But I think when you're a fighter, you're not going to give a shit if the guy's 10 pounds over. You want to fight. You know what I mean? But big chance for Ricardo. It didn't pay out. Big, risk for Ricardo. It didn't pay out for him. But I don't know. Let's see how it turns out. I want to say that the guy, because in essence, he kind of did Ricardo a favor by taking the fight. And I don't know. It's one of those things. I think when you look back on it in hindsight, you can come up with a couple of things. But at the end of the day, 2 or 3 pounds, shouldn't make that much of a difference, considering the guy didn't have a proper camp to train.
Well, I would respectfully disagree with just part of that. I feel like you got to dock like 50% pay if you miss weight and your opponent accepts. I mean, because the thing is, Ray, is like Emmett weighing in with plenty of time to spare, right? Like there's not enough of a penalty for Josh Emmett. He's weighing in like 54 minutes before the gun to preserve his body to optimally compete at the weight the next night, Right. So no, I don't know, man. I mean, I have a problem with a lot of this.
Yeah, I'm 100% not disagreeing. I'm good either way. If Ricardo said no, he didn't make the weight, I'm not fighting. That's fine, and taking it. But I think once you accept the fight, it is what it is. That's all I'm saying. I think if he would have said I'm not fighting him, I would have respected the shit out of that. I would have said, man, that's good for him. But these guys that want to fight, man, I don't know. Some of these guys, you're not going to talk to them and tell them, I don't think you should fight. But that would have either way. But once you accept it, I'm saying then it is what it is.
Yep,
but
I got
would have 100% respected that guy if he said, hey, look, this was the deal. I had to kill myself to make the weight. I'm disciplined. No problem. I'm good either way. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying I've done it in the past as a coach, and I'm not saying it's even a good thing. I'm just telling you I've done it. Yeah. But and it's always kind of worked out for me. But 10 pounds is a difference. I think, look, even the athletic commission, anything over 7 pounds, they're not letting the fight happen. So I think that's a great rule too. You know what I mean? Yeah. So how much money? Yeah, I think he should 50%. I'm good with that too.
The early morning cuts, I feel like it's a double-edged sword. If you cut and if you weigh in early in the morning, you have more time to recover, right? Yeah. But if it's early in the morning, you have less time to cut the weight. So it's tough. What do you think about that, Ray? Should it be earlier? Should it be later?
Again, I think it's an individual thing to each of the guys, and I think most of the guys they do like it now. They've adapted to it. I think if it's your first, when it was first happening, there was an adjustment period where guys, were used to that extra hour to kind of take off the weight. But so far, for me, the guys haven't been complaining about it.
Yeah, if you're doing it right, it should help. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, the only guy complaining is me because I got to get up early.
Right, exactly. Hey, we are actually off next Monday for Christmas, so this is likely our last show of 2017. So we just wanted to collectively wish you and yours a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, Ray Longo. Thank you for everything you do for this goddamn program, and you know how much we love you.
Hey, thanks, man, and really happy holidays to you guys too, man. I really hope you enjoyed, and again, given the circumstances, make sure you tell your wife and your kids how much you love them. And it sounds cliche, but you said it at the beginning, but it really is true. And you guys have a great future. You're living the dream right now, and you have a great future ahead of you. I just hope you're happy, man, because, life is short. but we're all going to go, and you got to really suck the marrow out of this, man.
Absolutely.
You really do. You got to go for it and just, if you're unhappy, change it, man. Whatever you like doing, do it as often as possible. And I think that's the takeaway, man. I really hope the guy rests in peace and he's in a better place than he was if he was suffering. But a really great guy, and you guys really